Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:07 now on O'Connor and Company. Coming up at 7:35, Sean Spicer will join us at 8:05, KT McFarland, and at 8:35, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. It's a good lineup. Even better with Cassie Smedile in the house. Good morning, Cassie.
Good morning, Larry. Always good to be with you.
So, quick conversation here about privacy, I suppose, or trust in a marriage, let's say. It has to do with the phenomenon of the ubiquity of smartphones allowing you to track the immediate whereabouts at any given time of your husband and wife. And this came up because you had made a passing reference to how you believe your husband has gotten wise to your ways this Christmas shopping season, right?
Yeah. Well, I am a gift hunter. I love finding my gifts. But yeah, he told me, hey, I'm going to turn off. We do Find My. We follow each other's locations, primarily for safety. Remember, we used to live in D.C. a year ago, so that's a standard procedure
Always
in D.C.
good to check up on your location,
right?
I suppose.
But he told me, he was like, listen, I'm going to be picking up your Christmas gifts on Friday, and I'm turning off my location, so you don't know where I am. And I was so annoyed that he was so smart and knew that I was going to check.
So now Meredith and I do not have iPhones. We are an Android family, and so it's not as sort of a common thing for us to do that. But my kids and their birth mother, they have this thing going on, and they can always see where each other. And so when it's very cute that he says, "Hey, I'm going to turn this off because I'm going to go Christmas shopping. I don't want you to know where I am and where I'm shopping for your presents." That's very cute, and it's very lovely. Let me ask you something. You did not have that when you started dating and got engaged. You didn't have this feature, right?
No, it's true.
So at some point in the marriage, after you were married, and you each had your phones, you decided, hey, we're going to put on this location finding feature so that at any given time, anywhere I am, at any point in my life, at any time of the day, you can see exactly where I am and find my location. What if your husband had said, yeah, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that would be the red flag. It's not weird that we track each other's locations. It's weird if someone objects to tracking your location.
Hold on a second. Marriage has been around for millennia.
Yeah.
Before the invention of the iPhone. And in fact, this app is probably only, 6 years old, 7 years old at most, maybe? There were fine, healthy, wonderful. Your parents didn't have the Find Me app, and they had a great marriage, didn't they, Cassie Smedile?
Yeah, I'm concerned that you're thinking about this like this, Larry. This is really a safety thing. And by the way, my parents are the ones who introduced it to us because they don't want to call if we're not home.
Oh, that's kind of funny, actually.
We do it mutually, but this is all just, oh, okay, you're on your way home from happy hour or whatever. Again, we lived in Washington, D.C., where crime is rampant. This was like a really typical thing to do. Somebody
posted this on a Reddit bulletin board, and it's like, personally, unless my partner is Reddit. Unless my partner is traveling out of the country or it's a snowstorm outside, I could care less. I think they couldn't care less to know where he's at. The only reason it would be for us to locate his body. Is it really the norm to knowing the other person's whereabouts throughout the day? Do you? Why? How did it come to be in your relationship? Did you sit across from the other person and say, I don't trust you, turn on the location on your phone? I'm genuinely curious. That's the thing. How and what does it say? I don't know. So Meredith and I don't do this. I will say this. There are various times where I don't always have the best memory. Let's face it. I put all of my mental effort into doing this show, and I barely make it out alive, okay? And so there will be times when it's like, oh, God, I know Meredith told me she was going somewhere, but I know she's gone. The car is gone. Where the hell is she? Our car has an app. I can locate my car anywhere because it's a Tesla, and there's a big app thing. So I can see where the car is, and that usually I put two and two together and figure it out. But that's as far as it goes with us, and I rarely use that.
But so you get it, that there is this convenience, like, oh, okay, good. I mean, Heather and
I but I could live without it.
Sure. And it's something I don't consult that often, but I will say, for example, if, like, it's Christmas party season, my husband's coming home later, And I'm like, oh, should I put the kids down? Or, oh, he's 5 minutes away. I'll let him stay up 5 minutes so he can say goodnight to the kids. But he's driving, but we still text and call. This
is insane. I'm sorry. No, it's not normal. It's very new, and it's weird. I'm sorry. I'm not the weird one for thinking that at any given time you should be able to pull up an app on your phone and pinpoint the precise geolocation of your husband or wife. Listen, there was a time when we didn't have this sort of thing. And,
sure.
First, we had pagers, right? I remember being in a relationship. It wasn't a marriage, but my girlfriend would page me. All that. My pager was for work. If I was needed by my business, they would. But if I didn't call my girlfriend back within 5 minutes of being paged, it's like I paged you. What happened? Why didn't you call me back? Because I was doing something. Leave me alone. Then you had phones. Okay, here's the thing. Let's say locations are turned off, Cassie, and you don't know where your husband is. Call him. He literally has a phone in his pocket.
We do that too. It's not about tracking. It's starting out as safety.
It's literally tracking.
But it's something that, first of all, speaking of, this is where I thought you were going with forgetfulness. The Find My app can find your phone within centimeters of where it is. Yeah. So it's like, oh, you left it up on the dresser or whatever. Right. So it's helpful for that. But it's really safety. My girlfriends and I track each other's locations because they're runners, and it's like, oh, you're out running, and it's kind of a community. Somebody cares about you, but it's not about like spying and checking in. Larry, I'm really concerned that that's where your mind went.
I think that's where everybody's mind would go. I think that there's a level of it's weird. It's weird for my. I don't know. I mean, I wonder if in this day and age there are conversations in marriages that go on saying, all right, what were you doing at that strip club? And the husband says, hey, I wasn't at the strip club. My phone was at the strip club.
My guess is that husband is like, you don't need to track me. We don't need a tracking. We don't need to keep tabs on each other because where that's not an issue, you're like, yeah, sure.
So let me ask you, have you ever seen where your husband is? Thought, that's curious. Surprised they're there. And then when your husband comes home, you say, so what were you doing at, El Torito Grill or whatever it is? No, because we know where each other is because we communicate. See, that would be weird. That would, if I came home and suddenly my wife said, so what were you doing at Neiman Marcus? What were you doing there? Were you buying something? It's like, I don't know. And that's what happens.
Maybe, right. But it doesn't.
I
because
guess
those
I'm
people
out of
don't
line.
track each other.
I guess I'm the weird one.
Yes.
And I'm sure either way we will get comments on our social media pages.
Right, let us know.
But it is true that specifically in Christmas time, that would put it kind of a spoiler on the shopping experience. So has he ever turned off his location without telling you, and has that made you suspicious?
I guess not that I'm aware of. It's not a daily check-in. No, I'm confident it's no. He would not care less.
Would it make you suspicious if you checked to see where he was and the location was turned off?
Yes, but it's never happened. Again, my husband, the square, is like, hey, FYI, because I know you like to sneak around looking for Christmas presents, I'm turning off my location because I'm going to get your Christmas presents. He's the most transparent person.
All right. I'm not trying to sow seeds of doubt. I'm just saying that marriages were strong and healthy and survived well before being able to, at any given time, see exactly where your husband or wife happens to be. That's all.
Sure. We also had a 50% divorce rate, but,
Aha! It's 7:15.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
So Piers Morgan, who has a very popular streaming show, which it's interesting. I have a love-hate relationship with Piers Morgan. I love to hate him. I'm kidding. It's not that bad. Sometimes I think he provides very good and interesting content, and sometimes I think that he's just a absolute blowhard, obnoxious jerk. But by the way, glass houses, I'm sure people think that about me too. His streaming show is quite popular, And when he's got a one-on-one interview with somebody, I think that it's usually quite effective, which is the case that we're about to bring up. But he often does these roundtables that are like, it looks like the Brady Bunch with 8 people all sitting in a box, and they all start screaming at each other. And it's just not my cup of tea. But it gets a lot of clicks. So what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Last night, speaking of getting a lot of clicks, he went one-on-one with Candace Owens. Yes, Piers Morgan and Candace Owens. And the payoff was exactly what you expected.
Yes.
So a couple of things here. First, they did breach into the Erica Kirk situation and the Charlie Kirk and a lot of the theories that Candace Owens is just asking questions about with regard to the Israeli government and international cabal of assassins working alongside insiders at Turning Point USA who hated Charlie Kirk, teaming up for the assassination. Lord knows we don't think it was the crazy leftist who had weird sexual fetishes that ended up killing Charlie Kirk, even though all of the evidence points his way. No. Candace Owens has to throw out her theories. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, the other fascinating exploration of Candace Owens' media career has been about the gender disposition of one Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, who Candace Owens is quite sure is actually a man, and she's being sued for defamation by the Macrons over this issue. So here is a fascinating exchange over Brigitte Macron's genitalia. Please take a listen.
And I think we're going to see the same thing with Brigitte Macron and you, is that he was weaponizing deliberate lies for money. And I think you did that.
Macron has a... I really want
Brigitte
you to know
Macron
that.
does not have a...
Brigitte Macron has... I'm sorry.
She had 3 children.
Did she get it removed?
She had 3 children.
Yeah, you can have adoptive children. You can call somebody. But Brigitte Macron was born a dude named Jean-Michel Trogneau. Well, and I just feel... I want you to know that. I want you to know that Brigitte Macron probably stands peeing up. Probably pee standing up is what I want you to know.
The beauty is we have a big bet.
I think Brigitte
we have
stands.
a big bet, and we're going to find out because it's going to court. And, you will lose that court case. I think you will.
I don't know why, but I'm just so glad I'm living in the timeline that has that exchange for us.
Are you? And that it gets clicks.
Yeah, of course it gets
And she's
clicks.
being sued, so why not double down publicly?
Well, she kind of has to at this point, right?
Just giving more evidence.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm the disposition of the male member hanging between Brigitte Macron's legs. There is no equivocating for Candace Owens at this point. By the way, a quick flashback to Candace's podcast where she raised this issue, cut 16.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away, and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world.
How do you think the Brigitte Macron case ends with Candace Owens? Will there be a settlement on this thing? Do you think it goes to Discovery? Do you think there will be a judgment?
I do think it'll be quietly go away because Candace will have that moment where all of us has to actually be publicized, answered for. Truthfully, I don't care. I hope she goes bankrupt dying on this hill, but
can we get back to me tracking my husband, please?
I bet a lot more people have thoughts on that than Candace Owens. I guess not.
Then let's get to the Charlie Kirk question. Then here is Piers Morgan confronting Candace Owens on her claims that the murder of Charlie Kirk has been covered up.
I want to get to the reality of what you're actually saying. So when you say that somebody at Turning Point USA, Charlie's company, was complicit in his murder, who was?
I believe that there were multiple people at Turning Point who are, as I have said many times, my exact words are, they are engaged in a cover-up of what happened to Charlie on that day.
No, but who was involved in his murder?
I didn't say that they murdered Charlie.
You said that people at Turning Point were complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe that thoroughly.
Candice, you didn't say that. You said literally.
I did say that on my entire show.
You said there were people at Turning Point complicit in his murder.
Okay.
That's what you said.
When you and I were discussing, that's why I said, let's go back. I was applying the logic of a conspiracy to JFK. I said, okay, JFK, you have people that are complicit. Of course, if you apply that logic, if there is a conspiracy, there's going to be multiple people that are going to be complicit by the time, in order for a large stage murder to happen.
You specifically said, you didn't say complicit in a cover-up. You said complicit in the murder.
This is what's frustrating about shows like this. It's like, okay, Piers, if you've got producers, you've got researchers. I haven't delved into every episode of Candace Owens, but if you're going to say that on the air, just say, here's the clip. Here's you saying it.
That's what Heather Hunter would have done for you, Larry.
Right.
She would have pulled the clip.
So why doesn't Piers Morgan do that? That would have been better. That said, I think saying that Turning Point USA is involved in a cover-up is sort of just as damning, frankly. But anyway, there you go. There's your update.
Oh, we can all move on with our lives now.
Oh, no.
There's more.
This never ends. It's 7:24. Coming up, political genius and ballroom dancer extraordinaire Sean Spicer next.
WMAL-FM Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37. Good morning. Coming up at 8:05, KT McFarland, and 8:35, Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, Larry O'Connor with Cassie Smedile. Cassie, I gotta warn you here. We've got Sean Spicer, and oftentimes these interviews go off the rails, so just get ready for it.
Okay, I'll brace myself.
Sean Spicer, former White House press secretary, now host of the Sean Spicer Show, as well as the brand new Huddle morning podcast. Good morning and Merry Christmas to you, your beautiful, long-suffering wife, and your delightful children.
No, it's me. It's Sean. I don't know who you have. Jack Diamond coming up next or what? I don't understand. Everybody is excited to be around me, especially at Christmas, Larry. Everyone.
Well, sure, because they mistake you for an elf.
Oh.
I had a great conversation with Michael Shelton, your amazing producer, and I said to him, Michael, let's be honest. You are the brains and the power, aside from the lovely and talented Heather Hunter. Like, Larry is like a chatbot. He just reads and says what you guys do. And Michael said, no. He's got, he even went further. Yeah. And now maybe I just realized that it's Heather. But anyway, it is Christmas. And
be charitable.
It's funny. People don't understand what happens behind the scenes of a show. They go, oh, Cassie Smedile is coaching. Would you like to come on with her? And I said, oh, cool. Larry's not there. It was like a sleight of hand. And I was like, oh, this will be nice. We could chat and catch up, have a pleasant conversation, have an intelligent conversation, frankly. Maybe do a little analysis, get some true insight as opposed to
do you see?
Whatever.
Do you see how? Do you see how he is, Cassie? Do you see? This is why I tried to.
I mean, you called him an elf, Larry. What'd you expect?
And by the way, see, Cassie, here's the thing. Once you fully destroy the paradigm between the mentor-mentee relationship, which Larry did, when I signed on to be his mentor, and he got cocky, and now he thinks the student can become the teacher. Look, a little success. Yeah. And I will talk to Bill Hess later today because I think he gets a little cocky. He gets one GarageDoorRepair.com live read and he thinks he's off to the races.
I'm flying a little too close to the sun. It's fair enough.
Yeah. Hey,
all right.
Get yourself out into the ground, son. You don't have a pilot's license.
So last night the president addressed the nation, and he wanted to basically sort of remind everybody of the great year that he's had. Sort of assess this for us, I think, content-wise. Can I just ask you real quickly, delivery-wise, no matter what size room he's in, he still sort of delivers a speech as if he's doing a rally at a 20,000-seat arena.
Well, first, I've been texting all night long seeking clarity because he stated this warrior bonus. And I know we got a lot of folks at the Pentagon that listen to WMAL because they don't have the internet. And so this whole warrior bonus, 1776, I immediately perked up because I'm frugal and cheap. And I was like, oh, Christmas just came early for Sean.
Oh, no, you're in the reserves, my friend. You're in the reserves.
He said warrior bonus. I was like, okay, that number, if you Google it, that was to me the big takeaway. You dangle some cash in front of my face and I'm on your team real quick. And it didn't have to be 17. He could have been $17.
Dollars, yes. Move the decimal for you.
Like I would have been like, hey, that works for me. Hey, $1.76 probably would have got me. I mean, I'm a cheap date. So I think that was the takeaway. Look, I've watched him give a lot of speeches. Frankly, he is a master at delivery. He reads a room better than anybody. I thought that when I initially saw him go into the diplomatic room, I wondered, okay, is he bringing in an audience? Like, is he going to have people around him? Because he produces better than anyone. Like, you watch him.
That's true.
I've been around him. He'll be like, no. Watch, there's some B-roll clips where he'll move water away or something. He understands the visuals. I thought the visual was awesome. I thought the pace was off, okay? And I think that's what you're getting to. Like, I've seen him sit behind the Resolute desk and give a great speech. I've seen him in the cross hall up outside the state dining room. Last night, to me, was the cadence was not there. I actually thought he would have gone longer, but it was like he needed the audience. And that's why I thought when he went to the diplomatic room, I'm like, oh, maybe there's some people around him or something. But I felt like he needed something to bounce off of last night because he was going through the here's everything that's been accomplished. It's almost like he needed applause lines for people to say, yes, you did do that.
Agreed.
Yes, you got that accomplished. So the only thing that I can guess are twofold. One is I've been around the president when he'll say, okay, Sean, tomorrow we're doing a press event, or tomorrow I want to do this, and he's leading. I wonder if this was a staff-led idea, which is, hey, Mr. President, before the holidays, we want you to give a speech. And if his heart's not into something, that's what I wonder. Secondly, I kind of felt like maybe he didn't get the full, like he's been, as you've seen, the guy's been going a million miles an hour and had meetings. And like, I think, again, having a little bit of an audience, maybe doing it and I know this is, again, why it's tough. You've got Hanukkah parties, Christmas parties, so you don't have the full, run of the White House because they've got tables and things all set up. I would have thought that him having a room of, 15, 20 small, like almost like mini State of the Union, where he could have been like, look over there, there's Larry O'Connor. We all know that Larry's situation. Larry has been he's struggling for years, and now he doesn't have tax on tips for the Uber that he drives back and forth from Annapolis. Like, and he can now, and plus he's a senior, so he's not paying on his Social Security either. So I would have but the timing, I think, again, the logistics might have prohibited that.
Yeah, it felt like, I'm with you. He was like going through it, getting louder, getting more like, are you hearing this? It was a different tone. But also, and this is why I wondered if it was staff-led too, I think that's interesting insight. They needed to reset the narrative for the week, especially as he's getting ready to go out on the road, going into the holidays as people are about ready to check out for a few days. The last voice they needed to hear was one about the president talking about all of the good that they've done in this first year, that he's done in this first year going into the midterms. So I think it was a well-utilized use of a good use of a primetime slot, his ability to take over primetime. I mean, it was the Survivor finale last night. Who knows? That show's still on. But he was able to preempt that with this. I mean, it was a significant use of a primetime slot. But, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing that's going to be interesting. I made this observation. We had a little pop-up on the huddle. So it's 8:30. And so on my YouTube channel or whatever. But here's the deal. This, to me, if you read that speech, you're going to go, wow, that's amazing. Like, he really did accomplish it. Okay. I think this is kind of Nixon Kennedy, where if you watched it versus listened to it on radio, you had a different takeaway. I think the people who read this speech are going to go, you're right. He has accomplished a ton. I mean, he has. The guy, whether you like Trump or not, if you actually look at the substance and say, did he objectively accomplish already in 10 months, 10 and a half months, what he said he would do as a candidate, you're like, okay, I might not have voted for the guy. I got total TDS, but he did what he said he would do. And I think that speech hit it home.
Well said. And by the way, in case you missed it, yes, a brand new show. It's Sean Spicer, Dan Turrentine, Sean on the right, Dan on the left. It's called The Huddle. It's 8:30 every morning, live streams at the Sean Spicer channel. Now, Sean, you used to do the morning meeting with you and Dan, and that was at 9 o'clock. And I know that because when you needed a day off, you were gracious enough to ask me to fill in for you. But now because you're doing the show at 8:30, it's impossible for me to fill in for you. Was that some kind of accidental oversight on your behalf? What?
I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah.
Wow.
To the, and if you celebrate anything else, I also want to appreciate the winter solstice is coming up in a few days.
Yeah.
Shortest day of the year.
He has not avoided a question like that since the Jim Acosta days.
Oh,
that was impressive. Sean.
You went there. I can't believe you.
We'll leave it at that.
Over Jim. Jim and I'm over Jim.
You'll never get over Jim. I know he'll never get over you. We'll leave it there.
True.
Sean, Merry
By
Christmas,
the way,
my friend.
Just got to say this. We haven't had a chance to talk. What a big win for the U.S. Naval Academy over the weekend.
Incredible
amazing
game.
Win.
Back-to-back Commander-in-Chief trophies. Incredible win.
Yep.
And yes, Sean was gracious enough to help me acquire some beautiful seats to the game. And we watched the first half together, but then for the second half, he just disappeared. Didn't say a word to me. He was just gone, and I'm thinking he was rubbing elbows with some very powerful people, and I was certainly not invited.
Okay, well, somebody at least got the hint and took. I'm going to. This has been a very productive year for Larry. He finally understands not only what an Irish exit is, but gets the hint. Now, he forgot to tell you that his lovely wife also left, too.
Where did Sean and Meredith go? I wish I had some location finder on Meredith so I could see where she is. Yeah. All right.
Well, and, of course, the ushers came up and said, Mr. O'Connor, you're sitting in Mr. Spicer's guest seat. He's no longer here.
It was quite embarrassing, but it was great to listen to the second half from my car radio in the parking lot. Thank you, Sean. Merry Christmas to you.
You bet. Merry Christmas, guys. Bye, Cassie.
7:47.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
I have a bit of a pet peeve, Cassie Smedile, about people treating their pets as children. You know, they put dogs in baby carriages and strollers, things like that, and calling them, I'm a dog mom. No, you're not. You're a dog owner. That said, there's a attorney in New York by the name of Amanda Reynolds who has taken it one step further. She is now suing the IRS, claiming that her 8-year-old yellow lab named Finnegan is a dependent and should be classified as such on her tax forms. She says that the dog entirely relies on her for food, shelter, medical care, training, and transportation, and her annual expenses exceed $5,000, fitting the requirements the IRS lays out as a legal dependent. So,
I admire the hustle. But
I don't want to get in the way of anybody who can creatively lessen the burden to pay in federal income taxes. Although technically you could make the argument that we're all subsidizing this tax write-off for her as a dog. And I guess the big difference here is you're right, a legal dependent is a child that you spend that kind of money on and relies on you for all of those things. And this is a dog, an animal. It's not a human being. Maybe that's the difference here.
With respect to my friends who aren't yet mothers and have pets that they take very good care of, I respect you. But, kids are a whole different thing. But you've seen this, that polls show, and I brought it up here, Gen Z say 43% of Gen Z are choosing pets over children, citing lower costs, less financial burden, easier lifestyle flexibility, So this would feed into this culture narrative of don't worry about having kids. You've got your pet. And
Ridiculous.
I'm adamantly opposed to that because anybody who's had kids knows that, yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's expensive. But yes, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So the broader cultural conversation about promoting families and children and all good things says your pet is not your child.
And by the way, I would much rather wake up at 4 a.m. when it's 15 degrees outside and change my baby's diaper than take my dog outside to make a mess on the front lawn. It's 7:54.